In my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And yeah, there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to talk about the WNBA. I think a lot has been going on. I wasn't able to cover it while I was away. And Alyssa Thomas has spoken out, defending herself from the critics, from the people who claim that she targeted Caitlyn Clark because Caitlyn Clark is white, because Caitlyn Clark is successful, and she has brought much new attention to the WNBA. People are saying that Caitlyn Clark has single-handedly rescued the WNBA and that the league may be on track to making a profit now because of Caitlyn Clark. So people are alleging that there's a lot of jealousy from many of the other players, and it is reflected on the court.
Thomas, who was a six-time All-Star for the Mercury, says she has received death threats after she appeared to push her fist into Clark's throat in a recent game. Rhiannon Alley is here with this story. This is getting a lot of attention.
It's getting so much attention. Alyssa Thomas says this was a complete accident. She says she didn't mean to do this, but now she's being painted as a thug, getting death threats. She's sick and tired of the league not doing more to protect its players off the court. This morning, WNBA star Alyssa Thomas blasting Commissioner Cathy Engelbert after Alyssa says she received death threats over this incident with Caitlyn Clark.
There's a difference between trolling and there's a difference between hatred, and the hatred that we're experiencing over a play that honestly was a complete accident.
The play happened at last Wednesday night's game between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever. Clark at the bottom of a scramble for the ball. At one point, Thomas appears to push into Clark's neck. Following a post-game review, the league upgrading the initial no call to a flagrant 2, suspending Thomas for 1 game.
The fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous.
Thomas says in the wake of the game, she and her family have been threatened and she's been called racial slurs, criticizing WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert for not doing enough to protect players.
We're so concerned about the safety on the court, but time and time again, we're having people threatening our lives. I'm sick and tired of it, and it's time for them to step up and have our backs.
The WNBA saying they condemn all forms of hate, saying in a statement, the safety and well-being of everyone in our community is always the league's top priority, adding the league and security team have been in contact with the Phoenix Mercury organization and remain committed to protecting all players. We did reach out to the Fever. We have not heard back, but the Fever will play the Mercury again July 9th. Whether you believe this was an accident or not, no one deserves death threats.
Right. No one deserves the threats, but people want more from the commissioner. I mean, she's getting a lot of heat, and sometimes people say justifyingly so, with all that's going on with the league, with all the attention it's receiving, new eyeballs on it, have to have strong leadership at the top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I will say what I saw during that game was terrible. It looked like Caitlyn's neck was grabbed. Apparently, she had a fist pressed into her neck. These were some of the things that people observed. It wasn't just her neck being grabbed alone that people observed, and it was not called. It was not called. So many, again, are alleging that this is something that goes all the way to the top. This vendetta, this so-called vendetta against Caitlyn Clark. She wasn't included on the 30-year anniversary poster. People are saying again that was deliberate.
I mean, let's get into this now. The poster that they dropped last night, like the 30-year commemorative thing, which that you're on it, that's cool.
Why would you ever put me on it?
That even from the very top, Caitlyn Clark is not supported.
41-38, Fever advantage. Clark. Defended by Held, lost her footing. Kick out to Boston, 3 doesn't go.
Is it your thoughts, just as the league continues to work through what many perceive as consistency issues, especially when it comes to games being officiated, Lisa?
Well, officiating is tough. I don't know if anybody's ever even tried to officiate. It's not the easiest game. It's one of the most thankless jobs you can do. But in this particular situation, I thought that the last official should have been able to catch that. I was actually watching this game, and I was like, oh, wow, that was a bit much. So in that moment, I thought that the official missed the call. I'm not surprised that the league went back and fined Alyssa Thomas. But I think at the same time, it's tough to think that official would have missed that they didn't have a replay on it. That was tough to me. And I think overall, the league's got to do better. The officials have got to do better, but also players. Players have to clean it up. We used to play in a way that you protected one another. Yeah, I want to play physical. I want to play hard, but I'm not out here trying to hurt you. If I was out there for a loose ball and it was Renee down there, yeah, I'm going for the ball. But if I accidentally punched Renee or hit her in some kind of way, maybe the play goes on, but I help her up. I help her up. You know what I mean? Just out of the, like, dang, my bad. You know, so I think that part is important too, the reaction. Maybe if Alyssa Thomas would have even turned like, dang, my bad, I didn't mean to hit you like that. It's a different thing, but that's not what happened. And so I think that the league got it right. But I think overall, Coach Tibbetts is correct. Everything, consistency is important. It needs to be cleaned up for all players, regardless of what their accolades are. None of that part matters. It matters about protecting these players, no matter which team, which position, when they sub in, the start of the game to the end of the game. Every player deserves the same type of protection.
So the commissioner of the WNBA has now spoken out in defense of Alyssa. Many have spoken out in defense of Alyssa.
The people in this league know who AT is. She's a competitor, she's a winner, and she's tough. The one thing she is not is cheap. I respect Steph White. I got to know her with USA Basketball. I respect her as a coach and a person, and I understand her sticking up for Caitlyn in this situation. But to say that we had 2 cheap shots in that game, to me, is ridiculous. Steph knows AT. She got the opportunity to coach AT for 2 years, and she knows what AT stands for and what she's about. Next, I'd like to hit on my disappointment with the suspension process by our league and our leaders in the W. This was not a thorough investigation, in my opinion. The people involved were not questioned at all. It's extremely disappointing. No one from the league called AT, our security team, or myself about what we felt like happened in this situation. There is a protocol to be followed. Just coming from the NBA, there's been many investigations that I've heard about that there was calls on both sides, and that was not done in this situation, and that's disappointing. I agree with everyone's stance. Let's continue to clean up our game. I'm part of the referee task force, the same that Steph White is, and Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammond. The goal is to clean up our game, but I do think it's important not to rely on social media screenshots. This is a slippery slope, and let's watch the whole play, the whole game. We've got more people on our eyes. It's a great league. I hope that we can all agree that consistency is the main thing in how we call these games. React to situations like this with consistency. Let's don't base it on generational talent, fan base involvement, all-star level players, or role players. Let's don't base it off veterans or young players, or white players or black players or international players. If this is the standard, make this the standard. Even if the roles were reversed in this situation, make the storyline and the suspension the same.
Whereas the fans, many of the fans are saying that people should be supporting Caitlyn Clark, people should be calling out the racism, people should be calling out the bullying, people should be calling out, the targeting of Caitlyn Clark. And of course, you're going to get people who say that some players just play dirty. They're always fouling people. Sometimes it's called, sometimes it isn't. And many people have referred to Alyssa as allegedly being a dirty player. And it's not about race, it's not about jealousy. What I would say is that I have noticed that some NBA players have spoken out in defense of Caitlyn Clark. A lot of men have spoken out in defense of Caitlyn Clark, black men included.
I mean, I've been watching from afar and understanding just how much of a power she is out there on the court. The cool part is the way that she plays and her range and the level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison to the way that I play.
I was going to say, Caitlyn Clark's been compared to you.
Yeah, but I think it almost robs her of like the rest of her game because she's such a good floor, she has her overall, floor game. She's racking up, close to triple doubles every night, and like her shooting ability is, it's her superpower, but the rest of her game is as polished as that, and so it's must-see TV. I love what it is done for women's basketball in terms of when she shows up, the seats are filled and there's a different energy.
So perhaps it's more about jealousy than about racism, because the men are saying, she's doing great things for the league, that many more people are watching, and the WNBA need to run with this and take advantage of this time. Whereas we have others who are saying that her fans are racist, some of the female players claiming that her fans are racist. The WNBA did an investigation at one time and found no evidence of that. They've never presented any evidence of that as well, I've noticed. It's just these allegations that she has a bunch of racists following her. Alyssa Thomas has now come out and said she has faced death threats. She has faced all sorts of bullying and racial comments online following the incident.
I'm crazy. The playing the game, being suspended, just the whole narrative that's being painted out there. It's unfortunate that it's come to this over basketball. A lot of us, myself included, didn't even know the play took place until after, the game, and now we're being painted as thugs, and there's death threats out on us. So it's really unacceptable. It's something that needs to change in this league, and I'm just really sick and tired of it.
And I don't doubt that she has experienced some of that. Caitlyn Clark is now out with an injury. She has had back issues for a while now, so many people are attributing it to that. And, there are people saying that she should leave the league, go to Europe, play in another part of the world because she is not appreciated, despite doing so much in her young career for the WNBA.
What was the official offer to Caitlyn?
It was 2 years, $5 million a year. And plus, we were going to do cool stuff with merch. And, I think he was even talk about a percentage in team ownership. We were going to, we believe her coming into the Big Three would be such a big deal that, all boats would rise and the league would benefit from the attention and to see, if she can actually do it against this competition. So
bringing new eyes on the WNBA, an increase in ticket sales. These are objective facts.
The W at this junction in time would be better without Caitlyn Clark because she is a bigger distraction than she is an additive. Caitlyn Clark has gotten the WNBA over the necessary threshold they needed. Now people are watching. Now we realize, there's talent in the W, talent that's actually even greater than Caitlyn Clark. And I'm not just talking about bigs like Asia. I'm talking about the Olivia Miles. I'm talking about the Paige Beckers. Hell, I'm talking about the Kelsey Mitchells. Caitlyn got the necessary eyes there. But now that the eyes are there, we don't necessarily need her anymore. Caitlyn did what only Caitlyn could do, and we don't necessarily need her to do anymore. Thank you, Caitlyn. We can take it from here. Now you're saying that the WNBA needs to be cognizant of where they put Caitlyn Clark on posters. The WNBA and the officials need to alter the rules for Caitlyn Clark. The WNBA and opposing players need to treat Caitlyn Clark more gently. Caitlyn Clark's coach needs to be cognizant of how she talks to her in public because it's going to look like there's an issue. Unless we can take off our gloves for Caitlyn Clark and stop trying to act like she's a messiah, the WNBA could and would be better off without Caitlyn Clark, at least without this version of everybody coddling and caressing and catering to Caitlyn Clark.
These are all the things that have followed her career so far. But yet people are saying that she isn't appreciated. The referees haven't protected her. Even her own coach seems to be more concerned about defending Alyssa than giving her one word of encouragement.
I just want to address, what's going on with AT. I think first and foremost, it's absolutely unacceptable. I think as a league, as a whole, there's been so much more toxicity, racism, homophobia, straight out like nonsense, hate nonsense. And it is absolutely unacceptable. Most of this coming from the online community, most of this, in my heart of hearts, I believe, not coming from WNBA fans, Indiana Fever fans. I believe that this is people who are using our league, using our players to further divisive agendas. It's not acceptable. Yes, we have to continue to protect our players. We've got to continue to support our players in our league. We get to play a basketball game. And AT was exactly right. Like, we get to play a basketball game. And yes, that's going to come with criticism. Yes, that's going to come with fans and the love-hate relationship that they have with players and teams. That is going to come. But it's not hard to not be a jerk. And if you are one of these people that are online doing this, do not call yourself a WNBA fan. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition. Our league is about elevating women, elevating marginalized communities, including and being inclusive of all different walks of life. That is what our league has always been about from day one. That is what our league will continue to be about. And we will continue to compete at a high level, hold ourselves to a higher standard, continue to be on the forefront of social norms, and we will continue to support one another collectively as a league.
Not one word in defense of Caitlyn, but she's more focused on, speaking out for Alyssa, which is her prerogative, but it doesn't sit well with people. So what I would say is that when you look at it in real time, when you watch a video of the real-time incident, it happened very quickly indeed. But online, most of the videos out there are depicting the incident in a slow motion fashion. They've slowed down the video and you see the fist and the pressing and the pinching. But when you watch the video in real time, it's very quick, very quick. So that does give it a less dramatic appearance. And people are reacting to the slowed down version. Some would say that's why it was missed, because it did happen a lot quicker than it's been depicted online. Sophie Cunningham, who has gone viral recently after a pointing incident, she said that she didn't see it. If she had, she said she would have spoken out.
Well, so during real time last night, I did not see that happen. I don't, none of our team saw it happen, because I promise you, if we would have seen that happen, we would have had her back. Unfortunately, this type of shit happens every single game to her, and the league and the refs do absolutely nothing about it.
It's been a minute since you got fined on this podcast.
I have, but then you see the videos of literally kneeing and cheap shotting C in the throat. If she did that to any of our teammates, we'd be pissed. But they're definitely targeting her, and the league and the refs do nothing to protect her.
And it wasn't until the online backlash that they came out with this flagrant foul too. And people are saying that it's not enough. She just was suspended for one game. There should have been much more serious consequences.
Streaking to the basket, and here's what hustle players are all about. You got 3 Phoenix players around Caitlyn Clark, and it's been
to the ground. And that's a hand to the neck, and then
every player deserves the same type of protection.
So let me know what you think. Do you think, Alyssa is the victim in all of this, and she's being targeted for something that happens in basketball all the time? Or do you think that she took a swipe at Caitlyn Clark in more ways than one? took advantage and sought to do some harm in the few seconds that she was down on the ground. And, you know, the consequences should have been greater. Or is your criticism reserved more for the people at the top? The commissioner, the referees, the coaches? Does there seem to be a vendetta against Caitlyn Clark? Or are we just coddling her? No one's allowed to touch her. No one's allowed to be rough with her because she's the princess, which is one of the accusations leveled towards Clark fans. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video. And a huge thanks to all of those who have hyped my videos. It is greatly appreciated.